And something I want to talk about is worrying and caring so much what other people think about us, and not building our business because we're afraid of what other people might think, and not showing up in our most powerful self because we think that we should be a certain way. That we're trying to avoid people thinking that we look hideous and we're overweight, or that we're being a sellout, or we're just like everybody else, or you're a slimy salesman and I don't want people to think this way. And we don't do the very things that will build our business because we're so concerned about what others think about us. The truth is, what other people think about you is none of your business. It really isn't. And then we justify it and internalize it ourselves and say, well, I'm not worried what others think. I just think I'm horrible if I don't do this. And so you're being critical of yourself. You're letting other people's criticism and your own self-criticism of what you think is horrible about yourself stop you from doing the very things that you're called to do. Why do we let our own criticism and other people's opinions about us control our lives so much? It's going to hurt to really answer that, but you have to answer that question to find the root cause, or nothing's ever going to change in your life. If you have a goal to build a business, to reach a different place in your life than you're at right now, you're going to have to do something differently, think differently, and change what's between your two ears. And constantly thinking negative about yourself and how terrible you are and how hideous you are. And I'm so afraid that somebody's going to think I'm a sellout, or somebody's going to think that I'm this terrible person, or somebody's going to think that I look horrible, or somebody's going to say I sound horrible, or somebody's going to think that I'm just like everybody else, and somebody's going to say that I'm unoriginal. We can't live our lives maintaining and managing what others' opinions are. You can't control what other people think. You can't. You can't keep living your life caring about so much others' opinions about you. You just can't. And if you're a business owner, like that's literally it's gonna take your potential for business and cap it at zero and never doing anything by operating that way. Like, you might have great goals in business, but as long as you worry what other people think about you, you've capped yourself at zero. Because you will always limit yourself based on, I can never do this because they said XYZ, because they might think XYZ about me. No matter how hard you try, until you work on that thing and it no longer becomes a hindrance, and you take action despite your feelings, and you don't let your feelings control you, and you take control of your thoughts and your mind, and you don't let what is outside of you dictate what you produce and what you do and how you show up. And you show up as your best self, and you commit to working on this thing. You commit to working on not letting other people's possible opinions, this is it. People stop themselves based on the possibility of somebody thinking a horrible thing about them. And then they never show up in their business based on a potential bad situation. Now, I'm going to give you some grace here. Here's the thing. Trauma produces this. If you experienced pain in your life at some point, whether it be childhood, teenage years, or even as an adult, where somebody shamed you and made you feel like a horrible person, and they drilled it into you that unless you do that, that's what establishes that link in your brain to where now your entire life is controlled by managing and maintaining that nobody can ever think bad things about you. And that you must always control others' beliefs about what you do and their thoughts about you. And that you can't ever do anything unless you know 100% how others are going to think about you. That's an area that we must heal from if you're a business owner. If you're somebody that's building a business, and I'm somebody that experienced that myself. You can't let that be your hindrance. You can't let that be the prison that you live in that you can never break out of because you're so afraid of it happening again. You're so afraid of feeling the pain of other people's opinions that you never do anything in your business because you're so focused on controlling what other people think about you. You're so focused on managing and maintaining control over others' possible perceptions and opinions of you. People are going to think whatever they want. They are. People are going to say whatever they want. I see people so often, they won't post a video on social media because they think that their friends and family are going to think that they're being just like everybody else and are a sellout. And so they don't do the very thing that's going to help them. Or they're afraid that people are going to think that they look too fat, or they look too skinny, or they sound too weird. And they're afraid of hearing these things. You got to deal with what's inside. You got to deal with what's up here. You got to deal with the root issue of why you're letting that control your life to succeed. You can't let other people's opinions stop you from your destiny. If you're worried about what other people might think about you, you have given total control of your life to other people's opinions. But you can take it back. And it's a choice that happens in an instant. It is. Are you ready to do that? Why can't you do that? Why haven't you done that? Again, I get some of you may need to go see a therapist to work through that. I did. I had to see a therapist for 6 months to heal through a lot of those issues. I had to read a lot of personal development books to work through a lot of those things. Doesn't happen overnight for everybody. But you got to be intentional to not let other people's thoughts or potential thoughts. That's the thing. Not even just what they think, but what you think they might think. You've made that all up in your head based off of your life. And letting that stop you from living the life that you were called and born to live. And it'll change your life, my friends, if you can detach yourself from worrying and caring so much about what other people might think about you. I see people, they won't sell in their business. They won't make money in their business because they're afraid of what other people might think about them if they showed up as their powerful self and sold. They won't make social media content. They won't post ads because they're afraid of other people's opinions about them. You can't let that be the controlling prison that you live in. It's time to break out. We'll talk soon, everybody. Have a good one.